hey Rancho, I'm Alex and I'm here with Deon. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, man. Hey, we are here and talking about Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
And we're so excited to have Deon as part of our team. You're a justice pastor. You're also a teacher at our school. And I would just love to hear your thoughts on Martin Luther King.
It's amazing. I love Martin Luther King. And actually, one of my favorite writings that he had was the letter from a Birmingham jail. Like it's the writing that I quote from the most if I'm having any kind of discussion on racial reconciliation or just any matters of race. It's just such a well-informed written letter. And as I was going through wondering like how he even came about it, I realized that he was, through some research, that he was actually answering a question from, or an open letter from 8 clergymen that was in the Alabama area. And they just all wrote a letter and they were just telling him, he said, listen, we know that even though these marches that you're organizing, even though they're peaceful and even though you're abiding within the law and you're doing things correct, it's like, we don't agree with all of that. Why don't you just slow down and just let the process be? And I think one of the best quotes that I love that Martin Luther King said is, he said, look, no oppressed people are ever just given freedom by their oppressors, right? They have to fight for that freedom, right? And so that was just such an awesome point that I believe that he made. And so this is one of the reasons why it's such a great letter. It just covers so much.
We were talking earlier, and you had mentioned that he had said something like he thought that he had the support of these white churches.
Right. And so how he describes it in the letter is the white moderate, right? So these are white Christians and white Jewish followers of God. So these people who live a life giving glory and honor to God. And he was like, I thought it was just I just assumed that you would be there to support me. And it was like, it was disappointing and shocking to me that you weren't there to support me. And yet you're saying that we're not doing things correctly. And he's like, and that, we should just let things be. But he was like, if there's an unjust law, if it's not just, then we have to break that. And that was the passion that he wrote with. It was just like, no, if things are not done correctly and if they don't align to our faiths, like, we should be fighting against that. And not just the Negro, but with white Christians and with the white Jewish community all together, holding hands, going down and saying, no, we demand justice for everyone. And I think that's just the heart of that letter, which is beautiful to me.
That's an amazing story. It's so good to hear some of that insight. One of the cool things is that you are a teacher here at our school.
Yes, sir.
And so you have the opportunity to allow these young people to kind of wrestle with some of these issues, right?
Absolutely. So I teach a class for upperclassmen in high school, and it's a class called Christianity and Politics. And what we do is we wrestle with what our Christian duties are and how they inform our politics, right? And sometimes there's a wrestling there. Sometimes we have to understand, oh, shoot, this doesn't necessarily abide by the Christian rules, or this doesn't necessarily, fit my political point of view. And so we're just wrestling with all of that. And one of the issues, of course, is racial equality and different laws that were passed that harmed my community, the Black community. And so just seeing these kids have honest dialogue, breaking down these letters, breaking down words, seeing what it means, and just going, I see a correlation between what's going on today and what went on, 60 years ago. And they're like, and it's blowing their minds because they're just looking at it like, these are some of the same things that are being said today. And some of them are just like, I don't want to be on this side of history to where my children have to hear these same lessons. But I want them to be like, oh, shoot, mom's generation actually dealt with it and actually made sure that they came together with other communities and made sure that everybody was treated equally as human beings. And just to hear that type of dialogue from these students, I think it's an amazing, amazing thing. And it's just amazing to hear that voice, in this generation.
Yeah, if you watch the news today, it can be very easy to think that things are just as bad or worse. But from what you're telling me, you believe there's hope.
Absolutely. There's absolute hope. And one of the things that I love that even Rancho here does, like we have a class that we offer here called Be the Bridge. That is a class of reconciliation where all of us, all races, red, yellow, black, and white. One of my favorite songs as a kid is Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. That song ministers to me even today.
Oh, yeah.
And that song is built, Be the Bridge is built on that concept. Jesus loves everybody, and Jesus wants, reconciliation with everybody. So that class is open to white, it's open to black, it's open to red, it's open to yellow, it's open to we don't care what your race, what your creed is. We just all want to come together in the name of Christ, listen to each other, have honest dialogue, and change the world one person at a time. So thank God that Rancho is actually investing in something so beautiful and so that's something that encaptures so much the heart of God. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too. And I'm excited that you're here, and I'm excited that we can celebrate a day like today, and we can honor a man like Martin Luther King,
yes,
and his legacy, and to continue to advance the cause of Christ through racial reconciliation and through loving one another and through humility and dialogue and conversation and growth, and we can watch this world become a better place for everyone.
Absolutely. I always tell people, everyone has a role to play. We all have a role to play. It's not just on white people. It's not just on black people. It's not on red or yellow. It's on all of us collectively. We all have something that we have to say and something that we have to put into the pot in order for this reconciliation to happen. And so thank God that he's actually given us what we need in order to equip ourselves and educate ourselves and go out and fight together for him.
That's awesome. I have one more question, and
yes,
I know we're going a little long, but how could people today, Martin Luther King Day, 2021, what's something that they could do today to maybe have a dialogue, maybe have a conversation, maybe sit around the kitchen table or talk to a friend or a neighbor or get on social media and connect with someone? What's something that they could do to really maybe take a step towards racial reconciliation on a day like today?
I think the best thing to do is connect individually. Connect with your family. Have honest dialogue. Connect with your friends. Have honest dialogue. Connect with people who in your community, especially those who do not look like you, and have honest dialogue. That's where it begins. Just understanding that we're all people and that we all want the same thing. We all want life. We all want love. We all want the pursuit of happiness. And we all want to be able to do that on an equal playing field. And so I think it's just, if we all can just come together and just have a simple dialogue with everyone that we can, think about how much more we can be open as we're listening to stories and sharing our own story. And I think that's just the best way.
Awesome, man. Well, I want to thank you for your heart. I want to thank you for all the work that you do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your friendship.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you for joining us today, and I hope you have a great Martin Luther King Day.
Absolutely. God bless you on this day.